Hey guys, gonna do a Pauper tournament today, and before I did, I figured I'd talk about the format a bit. It's what I started out playing when I picked up Magic Online again about a month and a half ago, I think. And I think I hit 1895 constructed, which is decent in Pauper. I started out with Affinity, but dropped it pretty quickly. It just very clearly wasn't consistent, and even when it did work, it wasn't super powerful. And the next deck I tried started at this list, which is Louis Scott Vargas playing Blue-Red Cloudpost. So his list, it has Stone Rain and Earthrift main, which nobody does anymore at all. Otherwise, though, it's Frantic Search is banned now, but otherwise it's fairly similar to a lot of the Blue-Red Post decks that are getting played today, which is, what, 4 months later? Published this in May. He has a Shattering Pulse main deck, I think. No, he put that in later. Anyway, yeah, I started with this deck and pretty quickly found some problems with it. So I also don't have a deck list right now, so this is going to be me making the deck for the tournament. Muldrifter is totally fine. I love me a good Muldrifter. Now, Ulamog's Crusher. Ulamog's Crusher is slow. The philosophy of the deck, I'm going to make a pile of slow cards. The deck is counter burn. It's not like it's not like 12 post in Modern where you're casting giant creatures to win the game. Blue-Red Post is absolutely slow card advantage, and the Cloud Posts and Glimmer Posts are mainly useful to gain life and to cast Capsize with really good buyback. And also stuff like Muldrifter and Deep Analysis has a lot of colorless mana requirements, so the colorless mana is definitely useful. Capsize is the best and most powerful card in the deck, and so the ability to make a lot of colorless mana to buy it back is very valuable. Everyone was playing one of these, and I started playing two, and now maybe 50% of 75, 80% of the deck lists, I think, play two. It's just clearly correct. Steamcore Weird is a one-of, which I'm not super in love with, but it tends to be just good enough. It's fine in the creature matchups, and the interaction with Capsize can actually be relevant if you run out of Rolling Thunders and need a way to win the game quickly. When you have a billion mana at the end of the game, dealing 2 damage and then returning it to your hand over and over again gets you there faster than a lot of other options. Have a cat. No, Stone Rain and Compulsive Research. Stone Rain and the other Rain. This is really funny. Earthrift. She wants some food. These guys, I think, need to be in the board. And I think you only really need 3 or 4 of them in the board. And their value is the Mirror. The Mirror is very much a War of Mana denial. Whoever has more Cloud Posts will generally win the Mirror. Hello, Sage. Hello. So, card draw, card advantage, is going to be a necessary part of any counter burn sort of strategy. And rather than really having one super strong mechanism for that. This deck just sort of picks it up all over the place. So, Capsize, Prophetic Prism, for example. When you're nearing the late game, that starts to become a powerful card drawing engine. Deep analysis and compulsive research. A lot of people play Mystical Teachings. Mystical Teachings is awful. Absolutely god-awful. It doesn't do anything at all for less than 5 mana. And once you do get to that point, you can invest 4 mana to get a normal card, or 10 mana to get 2 normal cards. The reason that it's just no good is that you don't have anything to fetch with it. There's no mind-blowing common, instant, or sorcery that's really getting you super value out of Mystical Teachings. Deep Analysis for 6 mana draws you 4 cards, and that's going to be way more valuable. I should say before I forget, Ulamog's Crusher tends to be too slow for the deck. In most matchups, if you hit 8 mana, you've won. The one place it can be sort of good is the Mirror, where it can be quite hard for them to answer if you play it early. The Mirror tends to be sorcery speed very heavily, and so they'll often be tapped out, or just leaving 1 up for a Hydroblast or Pyroblast. What else do we have? Preordain. I think I like 2 Preordain. Preordain is, like, fine, but not super special in the deck. All the cards are sort of the same quality, and blue mana is extremely short. You very often are going to be using all of your blue mana every turn. So, paying 1 blue mana to cycle isn't super attractive. Flame Slash, a lot of people like this card. I do not understand. So, Firebolt. Firebolt fits with the theme of the deck much better, which is just slow, steady card advantage. Flame Slash kills very few creatures which Firebolt doesn't kill. There's Razor Golem. There are Core Skyfishers, I guess, which have 3 toughness. The main place that it's different is versus Affinity, where they have a lot of 4/4 creatures. But other than against Affinity, Flame Slash tends to just be worse than Firebolt. Rather than playing any Flame Slash, I'm playing Electrostatic Bolt, which kills Razor Golem, and other sort of heavily utility burn spells against different decks. So Lava Dart is amazing against poison, for example. All their creatures have 1 toughness pretty much, and you get to cast it for free sometimes. What else do I play? Seismic Shock. Seismic Shock is a... apparently that's not what it's called. Shudder? Pretty short Seismic something. Shudder. 1 damage to each creature without flying. That's totally fine against most of the creature decks, especially poison. And it serves extra value against the combo decks playing Empty the Warrens. Echoing Truth does great against those too, and I have 1 of main. Prophetic Prism comes back with Echoing Truth, so it's quite easy to cycle it. So does Muldrifter or Steamcore Weird. It's very valuable against Empty the Warrens, or against creatures that you want to slow down, and also with the best card in the deck after Capsize, which is Serrated Arrows. That's a 3 of main, and this just mutilates creature decks. If you can survive to get Serrated Arrows on the table with 2 copies of Capsize, 1 copy of Echoing Truth, and quite a lot of card draw and card selection, you can usually just Serrated Arrows them out of the game. Let's see what else he's playing. He has Lightning Bolt. I don't hate Lightning Bolt, but I don't love it either. There's not much that has 3 toughness, and ooh, but I have a foil promo one. I do like it as a one-off. There's not much that has 3 toughness, but there are core Skyfishers, and against poison, you need to have a high density of burn that's instant speed. So Serrated Arrows burns at instant speed, Lightning Bolt, Electric Bolt, Lava Dart, Seismic Shudder, these guys are all instant speed. The reason that this is so important is that if they cast something like Invigorate on their Glistener Elf in response to a burn spell, your Firebolt, say, if you have another Firebolt in hand, then your SOL, their creature has too much toughness for you to kill it. But if you have a Lava Dart in hand on top of that, you can kill in response. It's also very useful because not a lot, but it comes up quite often playing against mono blue that you want to kill their Spellstutter Sprite before it's able to counter your other burn spells. So if you like Firebolt, Ninja of Deep Hours, and they Spellstutter Sprite in response, a Lava Dart kills that Spellstutter Sprite, and then the counter spell doesn't work. What else does he have? Prohibit. Prohibit, I think, is a very strong counter spell in the deck. It's not great at all in the mirror. The reason is that in the mirror, the relevant cards are 3 casting cost, Stone Rain, or a Thrift at 4. Everywhere else it's pretty good though. Condescend is perhaps even better. It's an obvious fit in a deck that makes a lot of colorless mana and wants to play some sort of control. He only played one of those, but I like to have access to 3. Rolling Thunder is a sensible kill card. It's also got utility early game against aggro, or mid game it really super shines against aggro. If you get to that point and they don't have no creatures on the board. I like to play 2 so that I can always blow the first one without worrying about being able to kill them, because this deck is actually fairly low on win conditions. I'm of the opinion that in a deck like this you want as few win conditions as possible, because it's all about trading 1 for 1 early until your card advantage engine comes online. And for every card like Ulamog's Crusher that you have in the deck, that's just a card that's dead at the very beginning of the game, where you need to be trading 1 for 1 to stabilize. Capsize already dead. Mana base, I guess, needs a little attention. Need to throw my mountains in, for example. I forget exactly how my mana base used to look. 6/5? Was it 6/5? It's not very much blue. Must have been 7/6. I don't know if anyone else is doing this. I think one guy is playing a carbon copy of the deck I was playing like 2 or 3 weeks ago, so he probably is. But Wayfarer's Bauble is an excellent card in this deck. This deck does not actually, at least the way I've built it, maybe in other builds which are not as counter-burn oriented, this is true, but in my build, your choke point is actually colored mana, not colorless mana. And so Expedition Map is not nearly as important as Wayfarer's Bauble. Bauble also accelerates you in the first couple of turns, and this format is quite quick, but it's also a format where the other decks don't have a late game mechanism. So surviving the first few turns is all you really need to do in a deck like this. Wayfarer's Bauble does a lot for you there. I used to play 1, I'm going to be playing 2 because I think it's better in the mirror than Expedition Map. So I'm not going to be playing Expedition Map at all, but that's a card that's often in the deck. One, is it Boilerworks? This is not... Oh, I have a foil. Look at that. The Boilerworks is bad in the mirror, like actively bad. And so maybe I should take it out, given that. The reason that it's good, though, is that it gets you an extra Glimmer Post. It's sort of that simple. I don't know. It also ensures that you can hit land drops against control decks which are not killing your lands. So yeah, I like it. I'm going to keep it. I think I need 3 more land. So I'm going to go 1 Terramorphic Expanse. Have a playset from everything. I used to like the Juka Bog, but looking at the metagame right now, I don't think it's called for. It's useful against the mirror, but it seems like people aren't playing as much deep analysis as they should be. This is a 4-for-1, by the way, so you need a reason not to be playing 4 of those in your deck, in my opinion. I have 2 sideboarded because it's just the best board card you can imagine against mono black control, where they're trying to 1-for-1 you. And you just win that war because you have deep analysis. So if I'm not playing the Juka Bog, I guess I just want another island and mountain. Maybe I'll go down to 24 land. Get a little feisty. Let's try that out. Okay, I'm missing a couple of cards. What am I missing? There's like no way for me to look up what my deck used to be there. Oh, I guess I can look up what other people are playing. Because some of them are playing my deck. Is that... no. No, where did you go? Here we go. Let's take a quick look at the last Pauper Daily. Wow, there's no post in here at all. That's sort of insane. That makes me happy, because the last one I looked at was 50% Cloud Post, and I thought I was going to play the mirror all day. This one also is missing. Alright. That one has 2 Cloud Post. Are you for serious? This guy's... oh, 2 Evolving Wilds. Okay. Okay, we're alright. This guy's list is nothing like my list, though. Yeah, I dropped Mystical Teachings because I felt the need to play Mysteries of the Deep as a target for it a lot of the time, and then I discovered that most of the time I was teachings for Mysteries of the Deep to draw 3 cards, or sometimes only 2, and then I worked out that Deep Analysis was so much better at doing that. Oh, I was playing a Stagger Shock. Just a little more burn. I mean, the answer is going to be adding a bit of burn. I'm gonna call... I'm gonna call her back. About that. Okay. A little bit more burn, a little bit more card advantage sort of stuff. Maybe 1 more Wayfarer's Bauble. I'm only playing 24 land. I sort of want to play Envelop in this format. Just in the mirror, but it's not actually good. It's too bad. I have Echoing Truth, I have 3 arrows, 2 research, 2 deep analysis, 2 preordain. Could play a snapback main. I love having 1 Echoing Truth and 1 Seismic Shudder against Storm. Just wins you so many games that way. What do I want to beat, do I think? Poison is theoretically the bad matchup for Blue-Red Tron, Blue-Red Post. That's why I play so much 1 casting cost burn, and my list is actually at a point where it's above 50% against Poison. It sacrifices mainly in the mirror, but I feel confident that I can win the mirror by sideboarding correctly. I'm going to play 1 more Wayfarer's Bauble. I like that card. And for my sideboard, I'm gonna just lose to Affinity. Oh, Shattering Pulse, that's what I wanted. I'm actually gonna play a Shattering Pulse main. It's such a strong effect. So many decks play like Spire Golem, Razor Golem, Prophetic Prism, Serrated Arrows, pretty much a blank against my deck, but still a target. Most people have like some sort of artifact for you to target. Even Poison has artifact infect, guys. Okay, I'm happy with that. I like to board out 1 more. Against White Weenie, I like 1 more, so it'll be there for Affinity as well, which is fine. I'm not going to play Crusher at all. I'm not going to play Teachings at all. For the mirror, then. Hydroblast. Use 1 casting cost. Counterspell / destroy. Cards are amazingly strong. They're just great cards to have on a sideboard. Because they're so good against decks that are those colors, of course. Go figure. 1 more deep analysis for mono black control. Usually a very good matchup to begin with, but post board with 2 more analysis, just close to unlosable. I sort of like that list. Trying to think what else I used to board. Because I know that I used to just have 3 Earth Rift and no Stone Rain. I feel as though dedicating 6 slots to the mirror is worth it, because your plan against the mirror is so much different than in every other matchup. There's nowhere else that you're trying to mana denial, but in the mirror that really has to be your strategy. So I think that means you get a lot of value out of having a large board for the mirror. See what this guy's doing. Ancient Grudge, no thanks. Negate. Well, Negate might be okay, but no, I don't think so. I think Hydroblast and Pyroblast are just better. He has another couple of Seismic Shudders. I don't know about that. I didn't really feel inspired by any of that. This list seems like super low. You can decide if you want to go low or high with this deck. Low means lots of 1 casting cost stuff and a little bit of card draw. High means stuff like Ulamog's Crusher and Mystical Teachings and whatever the wall is, mnemonic wall that returns an instant or sorcery to your hand. I much prefer low builds, but this guy's is even more than I'm used to. 4 copies of Flame Slash and 3 of Lightning Bolt. I guess he makes up for that with enough creature card advantage against the creature decks. I sort of like that. Curfew. Oh, I used to play Snapback, that's right, for poison. Curfew is sort of sexy, though, against poison. He has one Crusher boarded for the mirror, I guess. I don't think it's good enough in the mirror to warrant a board spot. So I could board one Curfew for poison. I think I'm gonna rely on my main deck a bit for the poison matchup, and also not getting paired against it, because it isn't a great matchup, and also won't make great video watching. So I'm gonna run with this list, and yeah, I'll be back in 15 minutes with round 1, and we'll see what happens.